Hey, what's up YouTube's Blue Golf Ball here today with another Pokemon TCG online video, and I have here for you guys today a Mienshao deck, and this is the 90 HP fighting type Pokemon with the attack Euro Turn, does 40 damage for only 1 fighting energy, and of course high jump kick for the DCE, you can do that as well. Retreat cost is only 1, is weak to Psychic, but what makes this deck, this Pokemon so good, and to have a deck build around this Pokemon is the attack Euro Turn. It's got to be this attack here, and there was one day where I was playing Pokemon TCG online, and I kid you not, I ran into 4 Mienshao decks, and I was just thinking to myself, man, there's just so many people playing this deck. I might as well cover it. I'll join the club. And so Euro Turn here does 40 damage for only 1 energy. Of course, you can play it with a strong energy, and perhaps you even have Fighting Stadium as well as Muscle Band. And you know what? This is the same darn thing as Donphan, but even a little bit better, you can say. Instead of playing Muscle Band, you can play Focus Sash, and if you get hit for 1-hit KO, you're not done. You're at 10 HP, and then you can hit Euro Turn and bring everything back into your hand, and that means basically heal everything off, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, Mienshao here is a huge throwback to Donphan. Basically just Donphan reborn into the XY standard set. Standard format. Now, the difference here, I'm gonna be adding Flareon and Jolteon as a little bit of a tech. It's got the ability Electric Effect, as well as for Flareon, it's got the Flare Effect. Each of your Stage 1 Pokemon in play is now a Fire-type Pokemon as its existing types, and same thing here, it's Electric, as well as the additional existing types. I added these because, well, lo and behold, Mienshao is a Stage 1, right? And guess what? Euro Turn is not that strong compared to big EXs. Yes, you are hitting for a lot of damage, but more often than not, we do play Muscle Band in this deck, but more often than not, we're going to be using Focus Sash. And so if you're going to try to hit for weakness against, big EXs that are Fire weak or, Electric weak, yeah, I mean, hitting for only 100 damage tops isn't going to do it. With the weakness, though, this 1 energy drop can very well be a 1-hit KO. And I think that's what we're going to try to do and see if we can run into decks like that. But otherwise, the only other Pokemon here is Hawlucha, the 70 HP wrestling Pokemon with Shining Spirit and Flying Press. The nice thing here is the free retreat. Of course, Flying Press can always be a really good attack against EX Pokemon. And that's it for the Pokemon. Let's take a look at the item cards of one night. We have Eco Arm here since we're going to be playing Focus Sash and Muscle Band. Definitely need at least 2 Eco Arms, if not more, to bring back these tool cards into our deck. We do have the Enhance Hammer here. Gotta mention Enhance Hammer, very common staple in many decks, simply because so many people play special energy cards. But a lot of times it would become worthless if you're playing against decks that don't run energies, special energies. Of course, that's the most obvious. And that's why a lot of people kind of decide if they want to play or they don't want to play Enhanced Hammer, or sometimes it's just not worth it. Too big of a risk. If you run into like 4 decks, compete against 4 people with decks that don't run special energies, Enhanced Hammer for playing 2 or 3 copies basically is just completely useless. And but for me, I think 1 copy is pretty good. I've ran into so many decks that play special energies. 1 copy could be a lifesaver, could buy you a turn or something like that. And so yeah, so we have 4 level balls here, 1 Professor's Letter. We do play 4 basic energies, so that way this Professor's Letter can come in handy that way. Robo Substitute, huge crucial piece to this deck. 4 of these, we gotta have to push something into the active spot. It can't always be Hawlucha here. Poor Hawlucha. So when we hit for the Euro Turn, we're only playing 3 of these Mienshaos here. 4-3 line. When we hit for Euro Turn, we got to push something else, and we're going to be pushing the Robo Substitute into the active spot. What we have next is Sacred Ash. Since we play a lot of Pokemon, we might as well play this item card to bring back some Pokemon in our discard pile. We do have the Trainer's Mail here as well. Very good, handy item card to get some things, search from the top 4 cards. We have Via Seeker here. Oh man, again, I can't emphasize enough. We're playing 4 of these. Via Seeker is the bomb diggity. Everyone's playing at least 3 copies of Via Seekers. And we have 4 Karinas here since we're playing a lot of fighting Pokemon. And along with the level ball, we have a good consistency of searching directly for Pokemon. 4 level balls and 4 Karinas. No need for Ultra Ball in this case. These 8 cards will be able to get us the exact Pokemon we need. Maybe not Karina so much, since we can't search out Eevee or Flareon and Jolteon. But since you can search out for an item card as well, you can still get the level ball and search for them as well. So there's that. And again, Karina is very well used with fighting Pokemon, as well as getting the Robo substitutes out, and that's going to be key. I think that's going to be a very crucial and critical part of the deck, being able to continually get those Robo subs into play, and Karina is going to be very well worth it for that. We have Lysander here, as well as 3 Pokemon, or Professor Birch's observation. 2, Professor Sycamore. I opted to only play 2. A lot of people will probably argue to play 4, but I decided to only play 2, and I didn't want to discard my hand as much. Of course, definitely Sycamore can be a really good deck accelerator, just burning through your deck and getting the cards you need. Really good way to get resources that way, but I opted to only play 2, probably play a little slower and not speed as much. We have the Fighting Stadium, of course, and then I already mentioned the Focus Sash as well as the Muscle Band here. Focus Sash here, if the fighting Pokemon in this card is attached to his full HP, it would be knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack. That Pokemon is not knocked out, and its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. Then you discard this card. So that's why we do need to play the Equal Arm, because you do end up discarding Focus Sash once it gets used. Muscle Band, not so much. If you get knocked out, hey, the Muscle Band goes with it, but definitely the Equal Arm can get this guy as well. We have 4 of these Strong Energies and 4 of these regular Fighting Energies. That's it for the deck. Let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, we're going to be playing against Shadow Ashuri, and my opponent is playing a variety of different things in there. I wasn't really paying attention, but hey, we get to go first. That is awesome. Having the opportunity to go first is always a huge advantage. Now, we don't start with a really good hand in particular, now that's for sure. So at the very least, we're going to start with the Hawlucha, probably put the Mienfoo down, and I may hang on to the Eevee depending on what my opponent's playing. I may not want to have the Eevee out there if my opponent doesn't have anything where we can take advantage of the weakness. We might as well just not even play the Eevee at all, right? So as you can see, Hawlucha, there's a big debate in myself, in my mind right now, if I want to play the energy on the Hawlucha or if I want to play it on the Mienfoo. Very likely, I might just hang on to the energy. I mean, a lot of times you don't want to miss a beat with the energy drops. So you just absolutely want to drop them every single turn. And here, let's hang on to our hand. Ooh, we see an Unknown, and we see a Combee. And that means my opponent's going to be playing a fire deck. Or not fire deck, a grass deck. So that means I need fire Pokemon. That's what I was thinking. Alright then. Okay. So I'm going to hang on to this level ball, and I think I'm just going to play an energy onto this Mienfoo here, and let's go ahead. We will grab another Mienfoo here as well, and that way we can have 2 of them going, and let's go for the VS Seeker so we can use the Karina in the next turn again. So that looks like a good start for us. I'm looking forward to this. We're hanging on a level ball for the Flareon, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead, we'll end the turn right there. This Unknown here can definitely take a hit from my opponent, which is not a bad thing for my opponent. Buy himself a turn, buy him, herself, this person. So here's the Vespiquen. We're going to see the Stadium, perhaps. You could see the Force of Giant Plants play down this turn. My opponent can't evolve, and you can see something where, I don't know, maybe a switch for the Unknown, and then use the Farewell Letter, and then, get some more Pokemon in the discard pile. The Hawlucha can very well go down right now. And that's a true statement. Can definitely happen. You can still see a DCE. You can still see things like Muscle Band as well. We already saw a Battle Compressor discarding. Oh, look, a Night March deck. And we see Pumpkaboo Lampints in there, and that means it's going to be a Vespiquen and a Night Marcher deck here. We see another Combee, we see the Shaman EX, we see an Acrobike discarding something from the top, as well as taking a card in. We see the Combee get discarded. My opponent was able to get another Unknown, and there it is, drawing into some more cards with that Unknown there. And my opponent with, there's that Muscle Band. I was expecting that. We get hit for 10 because of the hidden power, which is kind of funny. So here we go. We should be able to knock this guy out this turn, and don't mind if I do. Let's go ahead. We will grab that Flareon and deal with the Combee right there. And let's go with the VS Seeker. We can go ahead, and I think what I want to do, I could grab another Hawlucha. Let the Hawlucha take a hit for us. But let's see. Could go with another Mienfoo. I think I want to go with another Hawlucha. Let's take a look and see here. Alright, so, you know what? This is a tricky part. Let's go with the Mienfoo, I think. And what I want is a Focus Sash. Now, it's going to sound kind of strange, but I want this to repeat. Alright, so we're going to put the Focus Sash on this Mienfoo here with the energy. And I'll play this one down here. And we will retreat into this one. Let's go for a neural turn and hit for 60. take our first prize. We got another Hawlucha right there. I'm going to go ahead and promote this Mienfoo. If my opponent opts to do a one-hit KO, we will survive a turn, unless my opponent has Startling Megaphone, which I'm gambling that my opponent doesn't have it. So we just see an unknown with a farewell letter. If my opponent has the Startling Megaphone, then that's going to be a farewell to the Focus Sash, that's for sure. Here is the Vespiquen. Now my opponent has the Combee out here with one energy retreat right there, and there is my opponent evolves the Vespiquen. Do we see a Muscle Band and DCE? We see the Professor Sycamore discarding another Vespiquen. We see 3 of these unknowns as well as 3 Night Marches in there. We even see another Battle Compressor. Here is the double colorless energy. And we should be able to knock out this Vespiquen in one turn. Assuming my opponent doesn't discard this Focus Sash, we should survive the turn. We should be able to knock out this Vespiquen with the Flareon on the bench. We should be all set and ready to go to get a one-hit knockout on this poor little bee Pokemon. Here is an Acrobike. My opponent's going to be already discarding, wow, 3 more Night Marchers right there, and an Acrobike discarding and a Psychic Energy. Alrighty then. Yeah, we have yet to see my opponent opt to play any of the, alright, so here it is. My opponent did hit the Mienfoo right there. Here is a Mienshao. Let's go ahead and, you know, I'm actually going to play this on here. That way we can Euro turn for the knockout. Alright, so here's the plan right there. Could go for an Eco Arm, that's for sure. But I may just go for a Level Ball and get another Mienshao in play. Sure, why not? And let's go ahead. We'll just go for the Euro turn, hitting for 120. I'm gonna have to promote the Hawlucha here. Lucky for us, we did get another Focus Sash. That's actually pretty cool. Let's just promote the Hawlucha. This Hawlucha will be a bit of a sacrifice. Probably could have played this Hawlucha with the damage on it already. I think that may have been the better choice, but as of right now, we gotta wait and see. Does my opponent Lysander out the Mienshao and finish this one off? We have another Mienfoo ready to go, as well as the one in our hand, and so we can get this. We can continue this cycle here. We have another Focus Sash in our hand as well, and so we can see if we can prepare for that. Here is the Lysander. That's gonna bring out the Mienshao, I think. There it is, and that's no problem for us. We have another Mienfoo here, as well as a Focus Sash ready to go. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to play this right here. Let's just get, we're going to knock this guy out anyways. So here we go. Let's play that right there. There's this. And let's go with the Euro turn. Knocking out the Vespiquen and taking another prize just like that. We'll promote this Mienfoo. Again, we do have the Sacred Ash, which we can bring some more things back. But you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. We could probably just sacrifice the Hawlucha, if anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, so we're gonna I'm gonna sacrifice the Hawlucha. We're gonna play it safe here. I don't want to see something like starting Megaphone and then we lose a beat on the Mienshao, right? Evolving the Mienshao. So I don't want to see that happen. I think this is a good risk. My opponent did take one prize. That's okay with me. I think that was a safe route to do, and we're going to stick with that. So this little Joltik will go down anyways, so there's really no point in dealing with this here. Might as well. I'm going to play a Muscle Band on the Hawlucha in case my opponent brings out the Shaman EX. And let's go for the Euro turn right here. I think there seems to be nothing for my opponent to respond with, so alright, so here we go. We'll just hit for 120. Take another prize right there. We got a Focus Slash, which we probably could play on this Mienfoo. But does my opponent have a DCE? That's the question. And if he does, then he will knock out the Hawlucha, but we will be able to knock out this this Vespiquen, Combee, whatever, if my opponent was able to get the Vespiquen out. And yeah, I think right here we do all we see is an energy drop. We don't see the DCE. This Combee is going to go down unless my opponent retreats into Hawlucha, and we're going to see if we can get 2 prizes then. That would be really nice, but it's a shame we weren't able to get the Jolteon out, but that's alright. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to power this guy all the way up right now. Why the heck not? And let's just retreat right here. And we do have VS Secret. We still have Equal Arm. Got a couple things there for us. Might as well. I'm going to play the Equal Arm. Sure, why not? We're looking pretty good. Looking very solid right here. We do get a Professor Birch's observation. Here is the Robo Substitute. And we have another Focus Sash there as well. We'll counter the Stadium. Everything is going our way. Hitting for 160. And I'm just going to promote this little Robo substitute. No fear whatsoever. This is a pretty dominating performance by the Mienshao deck. And again, I'm telling you guys, I've been seeing so many of these, and so I thought I might as well build one of my own and get a little spin on it. And there it is, my opponent, seeing the writing on the wall, concedes the match, and did put up a valiant fight. This is certainly... my opponent's deck is no pushover either. Well thought out, well put together. Vespiquen combo with the Night March deck, and yeah, so certainly a good deck. Hey, look at that, we leveled up finally. Look at that. Alrighty then. And my opponent right here, we took only 3 minutes and 33 seconds. What luck was that, huh? Yeah, putting up 580 damage, pretty solid, for being a non-EX deck. And yeah, I mean. Alright, Mienshao, definitely the MVP. Let's go ahead and play another match here on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, we're going to be playing against CMAC99, and my opponent right here, we will go flip for heads, but it turns out to be tails. My opponent gets to go first. Wait a second, why are we going first? Did I see that correctly? Never mind, I have no idea. We are going first, that's what matters. And my opponent gives us a smiley face. It looks like either that or he swore. I'm just kidding. So Hawlucha here would be pretty good as a start. I think starting with Hawlucha is always a really good scenario since we have the free retreat. And we are playing against a Shaman EX. Oh, that's very interesting. Let's go ahead. We're going to grab the level ball right here. And we can see my opponent is playing an Entei over there. We don't have the Vaporeon. But let's go with the plan of attack. My opponent says he loves my videos. Let's go with the Robo substitute right there. We even have a fighting stadium. I'm going to hang on to that. I'm going to hang on to everything. I don't want to see my opponent play a crushing hammer right away. Of course, it's always... I'll say good luck to you. To you too. And thanks. And smiley face. Okay. Yeah, it's always a good idea to never miss a beat with energy drops, right? But sometimes you got to just hang on to your energies and not... burn them, because your opponent, you never know, your opponent can always play, enhanced hammer, crushing hammer, or zero stick, things like that. So it's always safe to just kind of hang on to it. We see the Shaman EX here with the DCE. We're going to see probably a Sky Return getting hit for 30. We even see a Muscle Band. Wow, our Hawlucha is going to take a huge beating. And the Entei right here with a huge defense of that, what is that, the Flame Screen can definitely be in effect. My opponent goes for another Shaman right here, playing it from the Ultra Balls, drawing some more cards. And CMAC99 definitely getting a lot of things going on his side of the field. We get hit for 50. Here is the Shaman, brings everything back into his hand. And here is the Entei there as well. Alright, so here we go. We're going to start off with this and counter the stadium. I would like to play the Focus Sash, but too bad the Hawlucha is already hit. And let's go for the Professor Birch's observation. We do get Tails. We do get another one of these guys. And I have a VS Seeker available to us. What I do want to do is play, I could get an Eevee, but I'd rather not. I'm going to go for the Mienfoo. Looks like 2 Mienfoos are prize. That means we got to be pretty conservative here. Let's go ahead, we'll retreat, and let's go and hit for that Euro turn, and we'll bring the Robo substitute here, and see if my opponent plays a Lysander or not. If he does, then hey, you know what, Mienfoo will take a hit. Otherwise, we should be able to bench this other one here, and then just kind of keep going with that. Oh, wow, what we see is the DCE, we see Muscle Band, and Hard Charm right here. Getting hit for a Flame Screen in the next turn could be pretty devastating, reducing our attack to 10 damage, which will be forever to knock out this Entei. Since we don't play Starling Megaphone, those hard Charms and Muscle Bands are here to stay. At least I don't think we play do we play? I don't think we play Starling Megaphone. Anyways, oh my goodness. So here is a Professor Birch's observation. We see my opponent does flip heads, drawing into 7 cards. Again, the Fighting Stadium is not going to be really good. It's not too effective for us as of right now. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to have to discard this Robo substitute from play. But before I do that, I'm going to go for the Professor Birch's observation. Do flip heads. We do get this right here. We'll discard that. And, oh man, I really wish we had a Vaporeon right now. If we had Vaporeon, this would be so much easier to take down these Enteis. But the problem still stands. We don't have it, and we're going to have to get maybe something else. I guess we have to go for another Mienshao for now. I don't know. Yeah, do we want to discard, or do we not want to discard? You know what? I'm just going to pass the turn. I think I want to play a conservative route. Oh my goodness, we see the blacksmith right here. So thank goodness we got rid of that DCE while we could. And my opponent powers up the Entei on the bench. And man, we're going to have to deal with the hard charm here. But now I kind of regret not discarding. So my opponent opted not to attack. You know what? We're going to go ahead. We will attack. And we will do this route right here. Let's go ahead and play the Professor Birch's observation. We do get a focus sash. We can play this on here. And we have a Sacred Ash as well. Oh, man. Let's go for the Sycamore. We'll take that instead. And I will discard this guy into play. We got to start attacking here. We really need to start going with the attacks and being on the offensive. Now, what I do want to do is maybe promote the Mienshao here. I want to see if my opponent plays. This is a little bit of a risk. Now, my opponent can still play Starling Megaphone and do that to us. But here is the Blacksmith right here. We can see a Blacksmith onto the Entei. Perhaps we can see a retreat. Never mind, my opponent powers up this Entei here instead. And that very well means here is a Muscle Band on the Entei on the left over here. And that's going to be very scary. We only have 2 Mienfus to work with right here, remember, folks. And that means, yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult. I don't really see. I don't exactly want to play this Mienfu. I don't know how I feel about that. But all right, let's just go ahead. We will knock this out. I'm actually gonna promote the Halucha. Let my opponent take a prize. I think I feel pretty okay with that. I feel content with having my opponent take a prize right now. And yeah, definitely could have promoted the Robo substitute. My opponent plays a Ace Trainer. We see Starling Megaphone. That's okay as long as that wasn't the Focus Sash. I'm glad that wasn't the Focus Sash. We do have a Via Seeker, which we can go ahead and play for the Professor Birch's observation. Hopefully we can get something off of that. We do have a Fighting Stadium, which we can counter that Scorched Earth. We do see my opponent play the Eco Arm, getting some more tool cards back into his deck. And it looks like we're going to have to promote this Mienfu here. I'm going to take a huge risk right here. We top deck this guy. Oh my goodness, what a top deck. We got everything we need right here. Let's go ahead and flip for Professor Birch's observation. And looks like we only have 1 in the discard pile. So it looks like, oh man, this is going to be not the best thing to do. Oh no. Oh, not good. Definitely not good. We're gonna have to take a hit here. I will end the turn. I don't want to lose this way. If we do an Euro turn, my opponent can knock out this Robo substitute, and we have to go this route here. To play the Professor Sycamore and see if we can get something off of that. Now, I could play the Professor Birch's observation. My opponent does play a Hex Maniac. Not that we use any item cards or any abilities anyways. Here is a Trainer's Mail. Could see, oh, we see a Lysander now. My opponent won't really need to Lysander anything per se, but oh, thank goodness, my opponent hurt himself doing that heat tackle. We did survive the turn. Let's go ahead. We'll just play the Eco Arm here. Grab these 2 guys back into our deck. I'm gonna go for the Sycamore. Go a little more aggressive and. Okay, oh, thank goodness, we have a Focus Sash right here. I feel a little more confident right now. We can play the Robo Substitute. We have another Mienfu ready to go. We can evolve that. We have Focus Sash ready to go as well. And this is looking pretty good. With the Focus Sash, we should be able to survive the turn. Oh my goodness, my opponent brings out the Lysander. We do have that Focus Sash here, so we will survive the turn. And that's really what we need. That is absolutely crucial here. Oh, my opponent hits us for 50 only. Thank goodness. And we do have another Focus Sash here as well. So here we go. We even can discard that. Bring out a Halucha. We got that free retreat. Let's get... I'm actually going to go for the Professor Birch's observation. There's nothing to lose right here. Another Focus Sash, which is great. Let's go ahead and hit the Euro turn. Hit for 30 damage. Wow, how disappointing. We are a little bit short with that. The Halucha here may become a sacrifice at some point. Again, we only have 2 of these Mienfus to work with as of right now. So here's a Lysander that I'll bring out. It looks like maybe the Halucha. And I kind of expected that. Halucha will be a sacrifice. That's okay. Preserves our Robo substitute that we can use to still play as a wall. I don't mind that at all. And oh wow, my opponent retreats, and you know what? Lucky for us, we do have a Lysander, which we can bring out and finish off this Entei here. I don't mind that at all. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll promote this guy. We have another Focus Sash ready to go, and we can counter the stadium. Play this energy here. I think what I want to do, yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I think what I want to do is play the energy on this Mienshao here, I think. Let's play the Halucha here. You know what? Let's go for the Via Seeker. I don't want to mess around. Let's go ahead. We'll just grab this guy. And Yeah, I actually want to hang on to the energy. I just feel better hanging on to the energy. All right, let's go ahead. We'll take the prize right there. We're gonna push this Robo substitute into the active spot. Gonna have to deal with this Entei right here. We already used our enhanced hammer, I think. So there's that. Here's a Via Seeker. My opponent can bring out the looks like they bring out the Hawlucha. That's no problem. My opponent can just do that. I really want to see how long I can preserve this this Robo substitute. Funny, it's funny to say that, but yeah. So that's gonna be the plan. Let's go ahead. We're gonna do that right there, and you know, let's go ahead. We will just go and hit for in Euro turn, hit for 60, and let's promote this Robo substitute. Now, again, my opponent can attack either one of these Mienfoos. That's okay with me. We got the Focus Sash here, or my opponent could probably go for a Flame Screen and hits for the Flame Screen. So there's that. All right, so we do get the strong energy. We get this Mienfoo here. Can play that right there in case my opponent Lysanders that out. Let's go ahead. We'll just go and slowly but surely, slow and steady, wins the race. Again, my opponent can hit for 50 on this Mienfoo, will survive the turn, or go for the Heat Tackle. Hits for only 50. This is going to be, we're just going to keep repeating, man. Oh my goodness, this is just nonsense. Here it is, hit for 30. We'll promote this guy with the Focus Sash again. And the Focus Sash, or just keep on rolling, guys. All right, we can take down this. We can take down this Entei right now. My opponent can hit us for 50 with the Flame Screen, but that won't be enough unless he has, even with a another Hard Charm. We should be able to survive. Or should be able to take this guy down. So we see right here, my opponent's going to be powering up the Entei on the bench. We do get hit for 50. That's no problem. Once again, we just keep doing this cycle. Wow, this is just never ending. And here we go, Euro turn, hit for 30. Let's go ahead and promote this Mienfoo. Another Mienfoo comes into play here. That's kind of nice. Alrighty then. We gotta be very, very, very careful. I don't want to see my opponent use a Lysander on a Mienfoo without a Focus Sash. And that's going to be key. Now, my opponent can still knock out this one. We could see something like he's starting the Megaphone here if my opponent plays on the starting Megaphone. Or could see Zero Sick as well. That would be very devastating to see that. And we've already used one of our equal arms, I think. Yep, there's our one right there. Gotta wait and see. We see the Hard Charm. We don't know what else my opponent took. And so, looks like to me we get a Robo substitute. That's really cool. That's just awesome right there. Let's go ahead. We'll evolve. Let's go for the Euro turn. Hit for only 10. Probably promote. Let's just promote this Robo substitute for now. I don't want to take any chances. Try to be as conservative as we can. And my opponent right now will be reducing our attack by all the way down to 10. Knocks out that poor Robo substitute. And here is the Mienfoo. Here is the the Focus Sash once again. Here is this right here. And yeah, this is just kind of on repeat here, guys. On repeat. Until my opponent can get rid of this Focus Sash, we will just keep repeating this cycle over and over again. We get hit for 50. Here comes this Mienshao here. My opponent says GG. He's going to deck out, and I think it's going to be GG. We see a Euro turn. Oh, I forgot to play the Focus Sash. My opponent can Lysander out this one. And otherwise, I think it is GG. And nope, he just hits this one for... Thank goodness he didn't do it. Oh my goodness, he didn't play. Oh man. All right, so here we go. Let's just go for Euro turn and promote this one with the Focus Sash once again. And sadly enough, my opponent ends up decking out. There's nothing he can do unless he plays Shauna or gets Tails on a Professor Birch. But it looks like we just see a Blacksmith all powered up on an Entei here. And there it is. Oh man, the Focus Sash definitely coming in handy. I will just pass the turn. My opponent will end up decking out. And we'll take the victory here. And that's how you run this. That's how you run this deck right here. And you know, definitely props to my opponent for sticking to it. We both actually end up being tied in prizes. You know, I played those Hawluchas. I felt pretty comfortable. I just felt like, you know what? I want you to burn your Lysanders, and don't want you to burn your Lysanders on my Mienfoos. I don't want to keep losing my Focus Sash. Every time he hits for a full knockout, I will lose those Focus Sashes, and then I have to rely on getting an equal arm. So I felt like it was a good gamble. I felt like it was a good sacrifice, letting the Hawluchas take the hits for us. You know, it was kind of a risk, right? So it forces my opponent to play his Lysanders. and I want him to burn up the VS Seekers and Lysanders, because that will burn up resources and really lose. Because think about it, he lost his VS Seekers early trying to play for those Lysanders, and so he couldn't play for Professor Birch or for Shauna. I don't even remember if he had Shauna or Professor Birch in his discard pile, but assuming if he did, he opted. What happened was he opted to play those VS Seekers for the Lysanders, which he burned him on for the Haluchas, taking only one prize at a time, and I felt comfortable enough to allow that to happen. And I basically pushed the Robo Substitute into the active spot and kind of just forced my opponent to use Lysanders to get the Halucha. Since the Halucha didn't have a focus sash, unlike the Mienfus, he was more inclined to drag the Halucha out and knock it out in one shot. So I was totally comfortable with that. I wanted to see if he can burn all his resources, his Lysanders and VS Seekers, to do that, and he did. And so you saw right there at the end of the game, I just kept cycling through all my Mienfus, and if we got a Robo Substitute, that's great. And every time he attacked, he couldn't just do a one shot. He probably could have, and that way he would have burned all those focus sashes, but again, at some point, we had 2 Karinas in our hands, and we probably could have gotten it for another Eco Arm, something like that. So definitely, this was my quick analysis of the match, and even the match before. You can see a lot of people why they like to play this Mienshao deck. It's so, it's like a throwback to Donphan, hit and run, and Euro Turn does very similar. Plus Fighting Stadium, Strong Energy, Muscle Band. It really packs a punch. And with Focus Sash, it's so useful with Focus Sash, because you basically heal everything off, right? You take a hit, and then you just Euro Turn, bring everything back into your hand, and you can evolve the next turn. So, but yeah, that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button below this video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for being a part of this channel, being a part of this journey. You guys all take care. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.